I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every time.
Life is this. I like this.
No, $1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
$1 billion.
Now, y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have it. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby.
If you will change, everything will change for you.
If you decide to be rich today, who gonna stop you? Who?
It's just money. It's made up. Pieces of paper with pictures on it so we don't have to kill each other just to get something to eat.
You deserve to be listened to, or you deserve to have that dream and that passion and whatever it is that you see and envision there. You've got to see it in your mind's eye and know that you've got what it takes.
Fake it till you make it. In other words, act as if you are already the person that you want to be and having the success that you want to have.
As you think, so you become.
See this? This is energy too. If you get on the frequency this is on, you can't stop it coming. What did he say in here? He said, when the money starts coming, it'll come so fast and furious, you're going to wonder where it was hiding through all the lean years.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
An idea. Resilient, highly contagious. Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing.
But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
And these are all reminders to myself, is you want to be rich and anonymous, not poor and famous.
Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is.
You cannot believe in possibility without believing in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, it means you got to believe in possibility. And that means then, you got to do something. You got to get off the couch. You know, you got to get up and you got to get engaged in your world. And you got to be a creator in your life and instead of a victim in your life.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road.
He said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor, not poor working habits.
It reminds me that all I've got is right now. I want to be as effective as I can.
The moment we believe that success is determined by an ingrained level of ability, we will be brittle in the face of adversity.
If you want to be the kind of person who has a lot of money, starting today, you gotta make the kind of decisions that a person who's financially responsible makes.
The world belongs to optimists, because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will.
If we're to fulfill our potential, we have to start thinking differently. We have to realize that we're not chained to our current capabilities.
You gotta let go of that stuff from the past, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you choose to be now.
She said, I think resolve means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's the best I've ever heard.
I don't want to be like a slave to my thoughts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, and I feel like that's how I've been living my life.
Yeah.
Being like a slave to like my thoughts.
Walk, talk, act, look like the person you want to be. Walk, talk, act, look like the person you want to be.
See, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So one of the most important things is to begin to embrace your fear.
And if you invest in yourself, and invest in your future. Do it and get uncomfortable and know that that's normal, that's natural, that's the unknown, okay?
You've got to change. Otherwise, it isn't going to change.
Mistakes can be our greatest teachers. Mistakes should be our greatest teachers. And then we can use them to improve ourselves. We can use them to improve our lives.
The time is now. The time is now to express
and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great.
You know, I'm not better than anyone, but I deserve whatever it is I desire. That's a fact. That's really a fact. You know what I mean? So
most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory.
What's the deepest life quote that you've ever heard? I'll see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded, but we never look down on anybody unless we're willing to help them up. And more importantly, understand this, believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't.
One of the affirmations that I've used for a long time is that my income is constantly increasing. Just that simple. My income is constantly increasing. And then I watch it happen. What we believe for ourselves is going to come true.
Millions of dollars was on my mind at that time. I was dead broke. There was no time to relax, go hang out, party. No, I was broke. I needed millions. I saw, even when I had negative money in my account, which was very often, I saw millions in my future. I wanted safety, comfort, security, ease.
Making a decision from fear often begets more fear because you're limiting the possibility that's there. You're saying, oh, it's going to be this way or this way in your mind, and so you're creating that reality.
If you're about to make a change in your life and you feel uncomfortable, that's the best feeling you can have. Because for the first time in your life, you're making a decision that's going to be best for you and not what somebody told you to do.
Again, serious. Life is serious. The future is serious. One ancient novelist said, these are the best of times and these are the worst of times.
If you don't get what you want, you suffer. And even when you get exactly what you want, you still suffer. Because you can't hold on to it forever.
And if you want to feel a great regret in life, it's making a decision against your instinct and then it failing. Making a decision in line with your instinct and then it failing is much less of a place to fall from than making a decision against your instincts and then it fails.
We might not get everything that we fight for, but everything we get, it will be a fight. And I love the quote that life is a fight for territory, and once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over.
And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there. When you want to move, you're moving. And when you move, you are determined to move. Not taking 1 inch, not anything less than that. If I want to punch, I'm gonna do it, man.
You're always rooted in your mind. Mind is, one part of it is memory, another part of it is imagination. Both of them are in one way imagination, because both of them don't exist right now.
See, here's what I'm looking at. What are the uses for your life right now that you haven't even reached for yet? See, I believe that when you don't have enough encouragement to act on your dreams or ideas, or you're not enlightened enough, that life will act on you.
As Warren Buffett said, when he was asked what the greatest investment is that you could do, he didn't say Geico, he didn't say Allstate, he didn't say Coca-Cola. He said the greatest investment you could make is in yourself.
That you can get the success, but it's not a quick fix. It's a long-term thing that you have to work your ass off for. But when you get the success, you got the world with it. Because up here, we just create it. And the body is just a representation of how pure we are up top.
Basically, you can't skip steps. You have to put one foot in front of the other. Things take time. There are no shortcuts. And but you want to do those steps with, passion and ferocity.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now, I do it now, do it now. Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command, do it now, do it now, do it now.
If you believe life is a race, you must get to the finish line sooner than everybody else, isn't it? Hello? Is that what you want to do, I'm asking? Is that what you wish to do? You want to get there sooner than others?
The key to success is not simply effort or focus or resilience. but it is the growth mindset that creates them. The mindset itself is critical. Research shows that when we directly try to build grit or persistence, it is not nearly as effective as addressing the mindset that underlies them.
Yeah. Like I just wanted not to be poor, but I didn't know how to be rich. Interesting. And I understand that mindset. And it, as corny as it sounds, it always starts with you. It always starts with discipline. It starts with habit. It starts with learning.
To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said, it'll all change for you.
Like, you know what? I've set a goal, and I don't have to believe in myself. I just have to do the steps that I committed to doing to get me through the valley of the shadow of death. And that worked for me. I mean, it was a device that worked for me. And I feel like occasionally I still have it.
You will never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to jump off the cliff. You will never feel ready to take that leap. And the reason why is based on science and research. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow.
That what people are doing has nothing to do with me. I should always be a step ahead because I'm thinking differently, because I'm thinking about myself. Making myself better puts me in a position to make others better. Be the example, not the problem. The best way to take away the problem is to alienate yourself from it.
And it's natural to feel like you wish things would have been different, but it's important to understand that dwelling on the past, dwelling on your mistakes, dwelling on your failures, dwelling on all the things you messed up, holds you back from moving forward, and it takes you out of the present moment. And if you're out of the present moment, it means you're not doing the best that you possibly can be in this present moment, which means that dwelling on the past is holding you back from a better future.
Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep.
If you want to be a winner, you've got to think like a winner all the time. Did you know that your ability to achieve success on the outside is directly proportional to the way you think successfully on the inside? The great discovery is that you become what you think about most of the time. The great question is, what do you think about?
Attitude drives performance, right? Attitude drives performance. I say to them all the time, when you get negative and you get frustrated, what does it do to your performance? Like, it goes bad. It just gets bigger and bigger, negative and negative. I'm like, exactly. And so when it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out and you get negative, the lesson is just gonna repeat itself until you graduate.
Imagine life as a game. What are you solving for? What are your metrics? And I think when you really kind of analyze it and went, well, if this was going to be a scoreboard at the end and you're only really competing with yourself, there's nothing in being better than anyone else. There's only honor in being better than yourself last year. So the idea of going, well, what would be the important things?
I look at old people a lot because usually they don't give a shit more. They've just like given up. And there was a survey that they did where the number one reason that old people like don't have as much drama and they're happier is they say they cited they literally don't have time for it. Like literally they don't have time for it. And I found that so interesting. And it's like, well, if I'm gonna eventually be that way when I'm 80, I might as well just start being that way now.
Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself, personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is, what are you becoming?
It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. And here's something you've got to resolve. Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream.
Life
needs to be lived forward but only makes sense in reverse. And when you're staring into a bunch of unknown, there's no romance. There is no glory medley like reel that it's got some cool like Jamie Foxx motivational quote over the top of it telling you about where you're gonna go.
I want to fail at something that I believe in, because failing at something that I didn't believe in will suck more than any pain in my life. So if I do something and I believed in it and it was in line with my instincts and I fail, you go, cool, right? Okay, I've learned something here. But God, can you imagine the regret of acting out against your instincts and then it going badly? Like,
because you never overthink positive scenarios. So you're never drowning in, she's gonna love me too much.
Right.
She's gonna be too faithful. She's gonna be too kind. You never overthink, my company's gonna make too much money. I'm gonna be too successful. I'm gonna throw too many touchdowns. You never overthink about positive scenarios. You only overthink through negative scenarios.
You have to make adjustments to achieve your goals. And if you're not really happy about where you're at, but guess what? This change is needed, especially millennials. Some of the things that you're gonna do in life is not tied to a check. Don't guide your life by how much you're gonna be paid, but how much you get out of it, the opportunity. That's really key. Not how much you're getting paid, but how much you're gonna get out of the opportunity.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. That means keep the expenses low. Whenever your money is high, don't be in a rush to actually get the coloring and all the jewelry and everything like that. I was making $30,000 a month with about $3,000 or $4,000 overhead. It wasn't until I had millions saved where I was forced to go from a Kia Optima to a Maserati. In that same year, that's when I bought this cash.
If you find a mountain and you start climbing and you spend your whole life climbing it and you get, say, 2/3 of the way, and then you see the peak is like way up there, but you're 2/3 of the way up, you're still really high up. But now to go the rest of the way, you're gonna have to go back down to the bottom and look for another path. Nobody wants to do that. People don't want to start over.
Yeah.
And it's the nature of later in life that you just don't have the time. So it's very painful to go back down and look for a new path, but that may be the best thing to do.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. You've got to kind of go out there and decide what you want. That's the first great adventure. And then getting it is the second great adventure. So it sort of speaks to that thing of like wishing wells work. But they don't work when it's not the magic. The magic is you going, oh, what do I wish for? What do I want being the fundamental goal? Like if you know what you want.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
The sand in the bottom of the glass represents the past. The sand in the top of the glass represents the future. This is the way it actually is. You have no idea what's in the top of the glass. You only know what's in the bottom of the glass. Isn't that interesting? And you see, the only thing we've got anything to do with is what's right here in the center right now. Everything else is an illusion, it's a myth, it's gone.
You just said, don't worry about next week, next year. Just focus on every 24 hours that you get, you know? And that's done a lot for me, you know, because I think so many of us are, you know, even if the entrepreneur in us is always thinking about next week. If you dealing with a personal trauma and you trying to process it, you focus on that. Everything for me is just 24 hours. So I've been, that's done a lot for me.
Playing out the fear, Layla says this, and I love it, but that fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're gonna step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it. And I just love that visual, because a lot of times when it's like we have this anxiety around this big decision we have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not gonna drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you get a little wet.
Every time you lose at something, you're one step closer to winning the next time. The difference between successful people and not successful people, let's call it that way, are people give up. People wake up every morning, they have doubt, they have fear. They lose in a Ferrari race or they lose in a race, and then they just give up. The hardest thing in life to learn is to lose. Winning's easy. You win, you're happy, you get a high five, your friends are happy. It's your ability to take a loss, get up the next day, dust yourself off, and keep going.
Live in the moment. Stop trying to be alive and start living. Death is coming. Death is the ultimate accountability. It's only fearful if it comes and you're not ready yet. I don't care how much time I have. I can die today. Today I can die. I'm okay with this. 5:15 in the morning, I got a day, I'm excited about it. If it doesn't come tomorrow, I'm okay with it. Because I've done everything I can up to now.
Because your mentality is everything. It really is. It's the beginning of everything. Faith, and then the mentality, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like what Posner said. It's like you were kind of down and out for a while, or in more of like a lower state, and then all of a sudden he sees you a few months later and you're glowing. So you changed something within you.
Yeah.
You didn't take a pill and make you feel better. You changed something within you. You transformed the way you think. And then you created from a space of joy and possibilities and freedom.
You look at your life, you look at what you produce. Is it giving you what you want? Are you living on purpose? Are you living your dream? Are you acting on your ideas? Are you doing all you can do? Have you gotten comfortable? Are you procrastinating? Are you invading your own greatness? Are you surrounding yourself with people that can nourish you? Are you challenging yourself? Are you experimenting? Are you learning something different? Is your life an adventure, or is it boring? Where have you been? Why are you here? What brought you here?
Instead of regretting the past, when we look at the event that we wish would have been different, that we would have done something different, we need to learn from it. So instead of looking and being like, man, I wish I would have done this and wish I would have done this, take that exact same event, get a pen and paper and say, what can I learn from this? If there is a God or a universe that came down and said, I'm gonna give you this life experience because there's lessons in it, what were the lessons that you were supposed to extract and learn so that you could bring with you on the rest of your life so you could get better?
The number one ingredient is hunger. If somebody's got a hunger that doesn't go away, not a hunger to lose some weight for the summer, I'm talking about hunger to be more, to do more, to create more, to become something, to give something that matters. That kind of hunger that doesn't go away. That's what you see in yeah, I'm sure you know Richard Branson. He's a good friend, you know. Richard is 74 years old and he has the same hunger as he did when he was 16 starting Virgin in a crypt. You know what I mean? That's there. Anybody who has that component that's alive in them is going to succeed. And hunger, though, usually comes from not having things go so well.
People who have the mental resiliency and the courage to face failure, that you will fail your way to greatness. That most people allow their fear of failure, 80%, allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. When you're willing to fail again and again and again, when you make up your mind to become unstoppable, when you make up your mind to become a no matter what person, then that will then give birth to a part of yourself that you don't know right now.
Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. In leadership training, here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
Questions are, what do you want? How badly do you want it? And how much are you willing to suffer? And very often, everything revolves around the first question, what do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say?
And when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Your thoughts are a story, but here's the best part. You can write the next line right now. Actually, you get to choose the title of the next chapter right now. You get to write the next few pages right now. When you change the story, you change the feeling. When you change the perspective, you change the power. When you change the lens, you change your life.
Because social media is making celebrities of all of us, and celebrities are the most miserable people in the world, right? Because they have this strong self-image that gets built up. It gets built up by compliments. Every time somebody pays you or me a compliment, and we're like, oh, well, thank you, right? Then that builds up an image of who we are. And then one idiot comes along, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100, and they can easily tear it down. Because it doesn't take many insults to cancel out a lot of compliments. And now you're carrying around this big, weighty self-image, and it's just very easy to be attacked. And because you're famous or you're well-known, people want to attack you. So being a celebrity is no good. It's actually a problem.
we manage to never really connect with the present moment and find fulfillment there because we are continually hoping to become happy in the future. And the future never arrives. Now, even when we think we're in the present moment, we're in very subtle ways always looking over its shoulder, anticipating what's coming next. We're always solving a problem. And it's possible to simply drop your problem, if only for a moment, and enjoy whatever is true of your life in the present.
Stare at it. You stare at your past and you'll end up staying there. It's okay to look back and admire it, but you carry on. I'm not in the business of staring back at it. You know what I mean? And getting lost back there. People say a loss can make or break a fighter, but trust me, a win can also make or break a fighter because they get comfortable with a win. People can get comfortable with a win, and slack off then. Slack off on the training. Slack off on the diet. They've won one. They're winners now. That's not me. You know, you sleep on a win and you'll wake up with a loss. So I just carry on, keep doing what I'm doing.
No one is going to beat you at being you. One of the things I like to say is like, find what feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. So it looks like work to them, but to you it feels like play. It's not work. So you're going to outcompete them because you're doing it effortlessly. You're doing it for fun. They're doing it for work. They're doing it for some byproduct. To you, it's art, it's beauty, it's joy, it's flow, it's fulfilling. You must enjoy podcasting. If you didn't, you wouldn't be good at it. You would have 900
episodes either. Yeah.
Right. If you decided that the right way to get ahead in life was to go write books, nobody would have heard of you.
When doubts appear, don't assume, investigate. When fear whispers, don't bow down, look closer. When negativity rises, don't believe, demand proof. Negativity thrives on blind acceptance. Negativity grows when you don't fight back. Negativity wins when you don't question it. Dig deeper. Beneath fear, you'll find clarity. Beneath doubt, you'll find truth. Beneath noise, you'll find your power.
There's a wonderful phrase by Maya Angelou from a poem that she wrote called To Our Grandmothers, that she says, when I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So when I walk into a room, and particularly before I have something really challenging to do, or I'm going to be in a circumstance where I feel I'm going to be, up against some difficulties, I will literally sit and I will call on that 10,000. I will call on the ancestors. I will call on those people who've come before me. I will call on the women who forged a path that I might be able to sit in the room with all of those white men and love it so much.
Don't you have bad days? Don't you have days when you're like frustrated, anxiety, and pissed off, and you watch TV and you eat Cheetos and watch pornography? And I said, well, I do some of those things, right? And of course I do, but it's like an athlete. I built muscle over the years so that it's not that I don't have feelings, that I don't get hurt, I don't feel sad, I don't feel tired, I feel all those things. but they're not the dominant force of my life. It's a muscle. The mind is a muscle. Emotion is a muscle. I mean, I think the most powerful muscles are the invisible force muscles. It's your spiritual, emotional muscles. Like courage unused doesn't grow, it shrinks. So I put my ass on the line regularly so that it grows, and when it keeps growing, then pretty soon the stuff that used to make me crazy, it doesn't touch me. It's not that I'm so great, just I'm well trained. I've trained this mind.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. The first self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. Who are you around the first 7 or 8 years of life? Mom, maybe dad, older brother, uncle, a grandmother, right? What the hell do they know about building self-esteem? They don't know anything. And now, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Who do you go hang with? Who do you chill with? And he and I, we disagree about a few things, but Bill Gates doesn't hang. Steve Jobs, who I knew didn't chill. Warren Buffett doesn't hang. Elon Musk doesn't hang. And I go down the list of people that don't hang.
Being a man and being masculine. And so even mastering things and even being competitive is not bad. You build a business that kicks ass, that does really well, that gives people certain things that they needed or they wanted. So it's just a matter of how you channel that energy and how you control it. And what the virtues are is self-control, not feeling like you have to put people down in order to raise yourself up, feeling confident, not having to boast. A terrible toxic masculinity quality is boasting and saying, look how much money I have, look how much women I've slept with, look at all this other thing. You're just talking. It's just a lot of hot air. That's not strong.
I think a lot about, the act of going for a hike. The purpose of going for a hike, ironically, is not to get to the top. It's to be on the trail. And if you constantly stare at the top, you're going to be out of breath. You're going to tell yourself you have so much longer, when are we ever going to get there? And you are going to miss the entire point of your freaking life, which is the ride, the trail, the bridge, the mile markers, all of it. And so part of my desire to be happier is to continually remind myself, it is not about getting on that mountain, because when you get to the top of that mountain, the top of one mountain's just the bottom of another one. Mm-hmm. And if you're going up, eventually you got to come back down. Like, that is just life. If you focus on the freaking trail.
They're real. And with luck, you'll experience them. The point where you stop saying yes to everything because now the bottles you threw in the ocean are all coming back. And you have to learn to say no. I watched my peers and my friends and the ones who were older than me, and I'd watch how miserable some of them were. I'd listen to them telling me they couldn't envisage a world where they did what they've always wanted to do anymore, because now they had to earn a certain amount every month just to keep where they were. They couldn't go and do the things that mattered and that they'd really wanted to do, and that seemed as big a tragedy as any problem of failure. And after that, the biggest problem of success is that the world conspires to stop you doing the thing that you do because you're successful.
Well, the people that quit work and retire, they don't even understand who they are. We're not made for work. Work's made for us.
Right.
What we've got to do is find out what we love. And then you have to do it because you love it. And so age, time, space, nothing to do with it. Your mind is full of the idea. You get up, you wake up, you get up, you got to get going because you got places to go and things to do, people to see, because you're in love with an idea. See, when people quit, like 3 Feet from Gold, they weren't in love with that idea. They were going after the money. It wasn't the idea that motivated them, it was the money that motivated them. And that's why they quit.
You don't even know what you want. If you cannot write down right now on a piece of paper, this is what I want. If you can't list them, this is what I want, then you can't have it. Because your mind will get for you what you want, but you have to feed it a vision of what you're looking for. It's always interesting because the function of the mind is to make coherence between your belief and your reality. If I believe it's not going to work, then the function of the mind will manifest in a situation where it doesn't work. If I totally believe this is how it's going to work, then my mind will set me up in a situation where it works that way. And all of a sudden, that's when you start to realize, wait a minute, it's not chance anymore. This isn't chance, this is creativity. And we are creators.
Someone's 72 degrees of fitness. They're getting in shape, they've lost the 10 pounds, they look great. And you see them in a year and they've come all the way back and gained it back. And you're like, what happened? They turned the air conditioner on of their life and got back to what they believe they're worth. You gotta change that thermostat setting, and it's typically like in my faith life. If I was a 72 degrees in my faith, I started to surround myself with some men in my faith life who, man, they live in their faith at 95 and 100. They heated me up by proximity. Now my thermostat setting's different.
And look, I'll be the first one to tell you, there were a lot of days where I did not want to get out of bed. And I guarantee you, if I ask the question here, if everybody is excited to get out of bed every single day, if I saw a hand, I'm going to blatantly call you a liar. Because we all know that is far from the truth. But if you have those little small goals, those little small things that get you excited when you don't want to, it's going to make it even better and even easier at the end when you're getting ready for a presentation or the end of the year or this or that, whatever event you're leading up to. It's going to make it so much easier.
There's a quote that I've fallen in love with. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Be grateful for whatever your experience of this moment is. And if you cannot be grateful, at least allow it to be, because it already is. You might as well. Now, if you did this little thing, it sounds very little, and it is very little, allowing your experience of this moment to be the way it is. Just this little thing would remove, oh, well, it's hard to put it in percentage terms, let's say 95% of the suffering from your life. I don't know about the rest, the 5%, we'll get to that sometime. That would already remove a gigantic chunk of unhappiness in whatever form. Unhappiness is the most generic term one could use. The Buddha called it suffering.
You know what overthinking is? Overthinking is the art. It's an art. It is literally an art. It's an art that a lot of individuals here have mastered. It's the art of creating issues and problems that don't exist. There's enough issues in life that already exist. You're supposed to be scared. You're supposed to have fear. You're not supposed to have doubt. There's a huge difference. There's a lot of doubt in this pot over here. There's a lot of fear over here. And there's a huge difference between the two. Fear is an instinct. Fear propels you. It wakes you up. It gets you going. Doubt you create. Think about it. Everything you've doubted about yourself, everything you've doubted about your abilities, everything you've doubted about how far you can go, everything you've doubted about how hard you should work, everything's doubted about where you should be. You created it. Nobody else did. Nobody creates doubt for you.
Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big.
When you got an idea, you want to move on. You might not have the money. You might not have the education. You might not have the support or the resources you need. What is that something that can keep us going, that will enable us to act on our dream? What's one of those keys that will begin to help us to discover the secrets to our dream? Here's what I want you to repeat after me, please, with power and conviction. Say, it's possible.